Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be episode 7, or episode 6, I can't remember. One of the two. Today we're going to be working on a windmill, and I think I have a pretty good idea of where to put it. I have finished most of the roofing on all of the castle, aside from this room and the primary hall. Those two particular locations need more downstairs on the interior to prevent any weird particle artifacts slipping through. I've also added a door, because a super creeper had come inside of the hall, and we can't have that. I already have surveyed the location for the windmill. It's going to be over here on this little hill that is overlooking both the pond and the river. And it's going to go right around here, along with a farmhouse. The idea that I have for said farmhouse is going to be pretty simple. It isn't too difficult to make this farmhouse, but I also need to probably gather a few more materials to build the actual windmill itself. So I'm probably going to cut forward to that. Oh man. Well, no. No. That's right, miss. You didn't miss. Oh shit. No, 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 no. Don't you dare. I just want materials to build a lighthouse. Don't you dare. Stop it. It's about 2 stacks of wood. Hopefully. We're back, and with most of the materials that we'll need to actually create this windmill. I went and gathered about 3 stacks of wood logs, as well as pulling about 4 stacks of cobblestone from the stockpile that I had still in the base. Initially, we're going to start off with building just basically a straight tower. It's going to be relatively simple. materials to continue building our windmill, so we're going to go ahead and grab some more. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, shit, diamonds! Oh, my god. Okay, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. That is massive. Alright. Okay. Let's figure out the smart way to do this. If there is indeed one. I need a bucket of water and a dream. Oh wow, there's more. There's just more lava. Okay. Alright, so we have to light this whole little area up so that we don't trigger monsters, because that would suck only marginally. We'll have to go that way too at some point, but for now I think we're okay. So the trick here is to not mine the diamonds immediately. We have to dig them out to make sure that they're not going to fall into lava. And since they were this close to lava, I would presume that they are pretty at danger and at risk of doing that. Alright, so currently we see 2. There's 3. Are there more? So it looks... Ooh, okay, so there's 4. Some of it was underneath the lava. Alright. There goes my pick. Okay, I think they're well enough okay to mine. So let's go ahead and hit this. Now, I have found diamonds before, but not enough to make anything useful. Hey, we got 4 diamonds. Hell yeah. Okay, so now that we have our windmill made, what we can do is start working on the farm, which is what the windmill is for. What we need to do in order to get it to work properly and to look proper as well is to make sure that the farm is going to be a little bit sprawling. So it's not going to be something that's super encased. It's going to be sprawling away from the windmill. There's going to be a small little farmhouse right here, which I may build at some point. But for now, I need to drop, and dump combined into some of the chests over here. We need to make sure that we have enough room in our inventory for what we need to do. I'll also need some water, and I'll show you guys a neat little trick that you can do in order to hide your water sources inside of the farm. Now that I'm looking at it, I kind of want the farmland to basically be all around this area. So what I want to do first is cordon off the place where I want the farm at, the actual farmland itself. Let's do it this way. Now, this isn't going to be symmetrical at all. The goal is to make this kind of strangely shaped, almost. That way it looks a little bit different and a little bit more organic. So we have the general idea of where we want our farm to be. It's probably going to include a little bit of an organic trail. So now what we can do is work on making these pillars look a little bit better. We'll need some stone slabs, and we're going to make these smaller bits a little bit taller. Just a little bit. So, now what we'll need is fences. The fences are going to go through, and I don't necessarily want these touching so that it looks a little bit better. And then that should work. Now I want to work on the path. So the path to the castle is going to be kind of windy. And it's not going to be all the same. So some of it's going to be path, some of it's going to be a little bit different. Cool. And then I kind of want it to end there. We'll just need more food, more fences, and then more wood. For now, though, let's grab some buckets. And then I'll show you guys a neat little trick that you can do to hide your water sources. We're going to make use of the new mechanic where we can waterlog blocks, which is going to be very useful. We're going to also make use of multiple different stone slabs, or cobblestone slabs, which is both look like cobblestone there, and to be able to put water underneath it. That is going to allow us to hydrate our crops, as well as make sure that once the path looks underneath it, it looks like cobblestone. Just like so. About half of our farm, and so now I would like to start working on planting said seeds. Once we actually start planting the seeds, it should be a little bit easier to get everything up and going, but for now, what I'd like to do is make sure that the farmland isn't going to impede too much on the pathing, and the pathing needs to be a little bit organic. So, let's do it this way. Now the goal is to make it look a little bit more of an organic farm and not so much a hyper-efficient. now have a windmill, as well as the start and humble beginnings of a farm. We worked on a couple of different things in this episode. Primarily, we worked on the windmill. Admittedly, this windmill design took forever to try and come up with because there wasn't really any good inspiration that I could draw from, and a large majority of the windmills that I saw I just didn't like personally, and so I ended up having to go with a combination of my own design for the actual building portion, as well as somebody else's design for the blades of said windmill. Usually my windmill is a little bit different. It doesn't incorporate diagonals. It usually incorporates a slight offset type of blade, but I think this one turned out pretty okay, and it looks alright as well. In the event that, you know, for whatever reason I find out that I just don't like it, I'm looking at it for my castle and it just doesn't look that great to me, I'll probably end up working on replacing it. But for now, I think we're going to be able to do pretty well in the sense that it will not be replaced at the moment. There are some finishing touches for the windmill that I need to work on, such as the interior and working on putting a lot more storage in there. Usually what I end up with windmills and what I use them for is to store all of the extra seeds from all of the plants that I end up harvesting. Usually if you have a big enough farm for wheat and potatoes, etc., carrots, all of those will generate extra foodstuffs, and then you're going to want to have a place to store them all, and it's usually a little bit easier to store them than it is to compost them, since that takes forever to do. If you haven't already, I would highly suggest that you subscribe and click that bell. It really helps out a ton. I'm going to be making a lot more content throughout the week as I get more experience editing these videos as well as building them. Also, if you haven't already, I highly suggest you check out my Twitch channel. That's going to be where the majority of my content is going to come from. I hope you guys had a pleasant evening, afternoon, or morning whenever you're watching this, and I'll catch you guys next time.